Hi there, my name is Akash Sani and I'm enjoying a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. Oh yeah, and this is your weekly brew. Last weekend, Seattle experienced record-breaking high temperatures. On Saturday, the temperature hit 95 degrees Fahrenheit, breaking a 2-year record. And on Sunday, temperatures hit 96 degrees, breaking the previous high recorded in 1967. But the heat wasn't the only story this week. There was a primary election, and the president came to visit. As soon as Air Force One landed in Seattle, President Barack Obama was ready to start his busy 4-hour fundraising trip in the Pacific Northwest. But before the president could start campaigning for incumbent Senator Patty Murray, he had some business to attend to. The president's first stop was the Grand Central Cafe in Pioneer Square, where he held a roundtable discussion with 3 local small business owners.
I just sat down here at Grand Central Bakery with the Secretary of Commerce and the former governor of this great state, Gary Locke, the wonderful senior senator from the great state of Washington, Patty Murray, as well as these 3 terrific small business owners for a good discussion about the challenges that our small businesses face in this very tough economy.
Joe Fougere, one of the 3 owners invited to the meeting, said he couldn't wait to meet the president, but was afraid he wouldn't be able to say anything to him because he would be too starstruck.
But all of that dissipated when I was standing in that bakery and he entered the room and kind of rubbed his hands together and said, "Hi everybody," and walked over to me, shook my hand, and it just kind of, all the nervousness melted away because he has this dynamism that is able to just kind of make you feel at ease.
Fougere is the owner of 4 local Neapolitan pizzerias called Tutabella. The chance of a lifetime to meet the president arrived when Senator Patty Murray heard his success story.
Patty Murray's been very involved in talking to Secretary Geithner and President Obama about what we can do to get small businesses back on their feet. Most of that is through business lending from community banks, which is how I got my last loan to open a restaurant during the middle of the recession. When most people were closing businesses, I was opening a business, and I hired 75 people at the time. So it was a great story.
During the meeting, Fougere applauded the president's willingness to learn.
He was more interested in asking us questions than he was in telling us what he was all about. And I found that very comforting and very reassuring to me. One of my favorite questions that he asked me was, what keeps you up at night? And I thought, here's the President of the United States. I have every, right to maybe ask him what keeps him up at night, because I can imagine there's a lot more that keeps him up at night than what keeps me up at night. But he was really interested in knowing what are the issues that face small business owners.
And what exactly did the president learn from the roundtable?
We also had an opportunity to talk about the daily needs of small businesses and how those have never changed. We're talking about meeting payroll, paying vendors, making your customers happy on a daily basis. But the fact that we knew, each of us, the small business owners that met with the president, knew of a business or two, or a friend or two that had a business that was frozen because they didn't have access to capital, whether it be a line of credit or a loan for expansion, was very insightful and very helpful, I think, for him to bring back to Washington, D.C.
Now, did the president's visit help incumbent Senator Patty Murray? In a primary election where the top 2 candidates, regardless of party, go on to November's general election, Senator Murray took first place with 46% of the vote. Republican Dino Rossi came in second with 34%. Now, as you can see, the weather has completely changed since last weekend. In fact, in a span of 48 hours, from Sunday to Tuesday, the temperature in Seattle has dropped by 20 degrees. Yes, that is crazy. But do you know what else is crazy? Sitting inside on a beautiful day. That's why people come here, to Olympic Sculpture Park. Whether you can walk, jog, take some pictures, or even do some yoga. Yeah, that's right, I said yoga. Don't understand? Just watch this. It's quite common to see this on Saturday mornings at the Olympic Sculpture Park. Every Saturday this summer, people flock to the park to stretch, enjoy the outdoors, and meditate. The Seattle Art Museum, who owns the park, thought it would be a great idea to provide free weekly yoga classes outdoors. Award-winning yoga studio 8 Limbs conducts the classes, where an average of 150 people show up. Jennifer Yaros, a yoga instructor from 8 Limbs who also conducts the free classes, says teaching yoga outdoors compared to indoors has its difficulties, but urges everyone to try it.
We definitely have a much larger class out here. I mean, most of the classes that I've done have been 130 students, whereas a typical indoor class will have about 30, give or take. So it's a different scale. Vocal projection is different. How much intention you can give the students, what level you teach to changes by the number of students as well. So it's really been a wonderful experience being out here, and I think that everybody should do yoga outdoors at least once.
And what do the students think of yoga outdoors?
Very intrigued by doing yoga outside, having a place where we can connect with the public, and it was a really incredible experience. As you can see, the water over here is absolutely beautiful.
The ground's a little uneven, so you have to sort of watch where you step, but it feels wonderful because you're in the air, you're in the sun, you have sounds around you. It's more organic.
And the sun's out now. You can tell because I'm squinting. All right. Free yoga in the park will end August 28th, but you can still come to Olympic Sculpture Park to check out the farmers market. That explains the tents, right? And that'll go on until September 9th. Now, I thought it would be cool to show you guys something fun that I did this weekend. Let's just say that an international superstar from across the pond came to Everett. That's right. Singer/songwriter Jay Sean came to Everett, Washington for a meet and greet with fans. And judging by the screams, they were very excited.
First and foremost, I just want to say what a pleasure it was to meet you all. Thank you. And do you guys know I was from London, England? Well, it was lovely to meet you all, and thank you so much for coming to this. Thank you. And you should all know by now, if you follow me on Twitter, how much I love you guys. You know what I mean? It's always so nice for me. Whenever I get to actually meet my fans, that's the nicest thing for me. So thank you so much.
So, how excited are you? Jason! Maybe a little too excited. Last but not least, this week's brew is a Diplomat blend from Top Pot Donuts. Thanks for checking out the episode. I know it was long this week, but what can I say? This week was so hot. Did you get that pun? All right, anyway. For the Weekly Brew, my name is Akash Sani. Peace out.